guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Choma Stitches and my name is Choma. On today's sewing tutorial, we're going to be making this beautiful gown you see on the top right hand corner of this video. If this is something you are interested in, definitely keep watching to the end and don't forget to subscribe. I've got 2 yards of fabric here and I've cut it into 1 yard each. So I'm going to be separating it and folding my fabric in the direction that I want it to go. Okay, so look at this. This is a yard, a complete yard. I'm just going to bring it down a bit so we can see it clearly. You can go ahead and pin around if you want to. From the shoulder, I'm going to be indicating where my bust point is, my waist and my hip line. Okay, so from the shoulder I'm going to mark the bust point 10, and then I'm using my 16 as the waist, my waist measurement, and then from my shoulder to my hip I'm going to mark 25 inches. Okay, now around the hip here, my hip is 43 inches divided by 4 is going to be 10.8 inches. So I'm going to be adding my seam allowance of 1 inch like so. This is around the hip, and I'm going to mark this exact measurement till the down part. And then for my waist is 28 inches divided by 4 is going to be 7 inches, and I'll add 1 inch for seam allowance. So instead of having 8 inches, I'm going to be making 9 inches. So 1 inch is going to be for the dart. So you can connect this. At the bust point, my bust is 35 inches divided by 4 is going to be 8.75 inches here. If you add 1 inch for sewing allowance, we have this. So I can connect this one to the waistline. Okay, now say I want to use the whole of this for my sleeve. So I'm going to be considering the 1/2 inch for joining the shoulder at the top part and 1/2 inch for joining it here, and I have about 7.5 inches. I can just make it 8 inches, and I'm going to connect this from the bust point here. I'm connecting this like so. Next, I'm going to measure from here to my hip line. So from here to my hip line I have like 15 inches. I'm going to come up 1 inch from that place. So instead of this 15 inches, I'm marking out 14 inches. So I'm going to be curving this. Now I'm using my free hand. This is basically the curve of your waistline, your bust line, all the way to your hip line, and then you come up here considering your armhole, your bicep measurement, and then I just curve it here to give me this. So from here I'm going to come down to say here, and I'm just going to mark this. I'm going to just curve this all the way to this place. So if you are seeing this now, this is going to be the shape of the arm, the hand. That's the butterfly excess around the sleeve. Okay, I'm going to be cutting out this place and this. So this place is going to be cut open, so it is not going to be joined. The hip is not going to be joined to the sleeve, because the other parts we're going to be using this as a pattern to cut the back piece, and the back piece is going to be needing zipper. And I'm going to be taking out 1 inch from here, so that when you place it, we'll just have exactly the 1 inch for the zipper at the back. Okay, so this is it like so. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Now it's time to pin. I'm going to pin this all around. So now I can cut out this part. I've placed the first layer I cut out on top of the other layer. I'm just going to cut out the exact same thing before I will now face the neckline. So this is it. Now let's cut out the neckline. So for the neckline, I'm going to be cutting the front and the back neckline together. I'm going to be using 3 inches for the neckline, so which means for the back is going to be 4 inches because the back has zip allowance. Okay, so I'm marking out 3 inches for the neckline, and then I'm going to use 1 inch for the back neckline. I'm using the width of 3 inches, and for the back depth I'm using 1 inch, while for the front depth I'm going to come down to say 8 inches. And then I'm going to use my ruler. I'm going to use my curved ruler to curve it for the front neckline. Also, we're going to be using these pieces that I've cut out as the facing for the necklines after we've cut it out. Okay, so I'm going to cut out the back neckline first, and then I'm going to cut out the front. So I'm going to cut open the back piece. So I'm using these pieces that I have to cut out the facing. So this is the back piece. This is the back piece, and I'm going to be sewing my zipper. So the zipper is going to come all the way and stop somewhere around here. And so I'm going to go ahead and join the remaining parts. I'm going to join here with 1 inch all the way down. Next, I'm going to be taking out the darts. Okay, now for my back dart, I'm going to come down from the shoulder line by 11 inches. And then the dart, I'm going to make the dart as long as, say, 10 inches. My dart is going to get to this place. Okay, so for my dart line, I'm going to be using my butt point divided by 2. That's 8 inches divided by 2, which is 4 inches. Considering 1 inch for the zip allowance, so I'm going for the back, I'm marking out 5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and rule the 5 inches all the way. So at the center here, okay, since my dart is going to be 10 inches long for the back, at the center here, I know I'm taking out half of an inch from both sides. So I'm just going to go ahead and take out the dart starting from here, the point, and then walk it all the way to half an inch here, and then move it again, just the way you take your normal dart. And I will repeat the same thing for the front piece. Only for the front piece, I am not using 5 inches, I'm using 4 inches because there is no zip in the front. Okay, so I'm going to take out the dart and then join the zip for the back, and also sew the neckline with the facing. Okay, so I have gone ahead to sew the zipper and sewn the neckline as well. This is the back piece. I've taken out the dart as well, as you can see. I've done the same thing for the front piece. I've taken out the darts. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sew the sides. I'm going to start sewing from here. I'll sew it all the way like this, and then come down to the hip line and to the down part. Repeat the same thing over here. Also join the shoulders. So when you are joining the shoulders, you can also try to conceal here by using the facing to sew here, so that the beginning is going to look neat the way it normally should. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to hem it, and also hem the end. This place is going to be open. We're going to hem here and hem here. So I've sewn the sides. This is what we have. So look at the effect it has. So sewed it all around and to the end, and sewn the top, the shoulder as well. Did the same thing here. So now I'm going to go ahead and hem this. So all this opening, I'm going to start hemming it from here. I'm going to hem it all the way round. I'm going to hem it all here like this, and when I'm done, I am going to be tacking it like so on the hip. So I'm going to be tacking it on the right side. I'm going to tack it on the hip, and I'm also going to go ahead and hem here, and then I'll try this on and show us how it looks. Also, for the front neckline, I went down further by 1.5 inches because I wanted the depth of the opening to really be obvious. Okay, I want the opening of the neckline to be obvious, to go lower, so that a bit of the cleavage will show. That is what I want for this. So if you don't want this, you can also use your 7 inches or 8 inches for the depth. Okay, but for me, I used 9.5 inches for the neckline of the front. So that's what it came out to at the end of the day. All right, so if at this point, guys, you are yet to subscribe to this channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and like this video and subscribe if you have not subscribed. Turn on your notification bell so you get notified whenever I drop a new sewing tutorial or new commentary or new bead design. And of course, you can also share this video so that this community can grow. I would appreciate that. I also like to hear from you, so drop your comments in the comment section. I'd like to know what you think of this tutorial, if it's something you'll be trying. And when you do try yours, if you want to show me, you can also drop it on our Facebook group at Creative Tailoring and Styling. I'll see it, and I will also comment. See you guys in my next sewing tutorial, guys. Bye.